Hey Redeemer, thank you for tuning into this month's edition of The Big Idea, which is our monthly video to talk to you about Redeemer's strategic priorities and progress. And today I want to share 4 things with you as we go through this video. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I just want to share these 4 priorities with you that we're going to be talking about. So first of all, there's our fiscal 2024 goals and progress up to this date. There's a little bit of a GLOW update. There's a financial stewardship update, and then there's an update from Redeemer's board of directors. So let me walk through this very quickly with you. You remember Redeemer's GLOW strategic plan that we've been working on over the last 5 years. You remember that there are 3 major priorities with this strategic plan and 4 supportive priorities. The 3 major priorities are worship, ministry to families with children, and center of faith. And the 4 supportive priorities are hotspots, C10, and RLC online. So over the last year, back in August of 2023, we passed 3 congregational goals to continue to support the GLOW strategic plan. First goal was that by May 31st, Faith Lab will present a plan to expand its ministry to families with children. And then the second goal was by May 31st, Redeemer Online will present a plan to expand its ministry menu. And then the third goal was that by February 1st, the Center of Faith will present a plan for a temporary facility where the Center of Faith initiatives and programs will be housed that will be implemented by September this coming year. So how are things going with these 3 goals? Well, first of all, you've heard from Pastor Ian, the Faith Lab goal. That's pretty much done, right? It's ready to be implemented in September 1. You've heard us talk about Redeemer Online a little bit over the last couple of months, and that is also looking to expand, and it will be expanding its opportunities and its ministry menu in September 1, so we're pleased to announce that that's going on. And then third, also the Center of Faith, you'll see a temporary facility that will be dropped on site over the next several weeks that will house Center of Faith initiatives. So all 3 of these goals are going to be completed over the next several weeks. So we're really excited about that. But we also said as a result of these goals, there are going to be some numerical, quantitative results of these goals. First of all, we talked about average annual weekly worship attendance, which is what AWWA stands for. And we said this year we want to have 350 in worship. Well, guess what? We're at 373 people in worship, which is a combination of 300 people, 305 people on Sunday morning, and then 68 people through Regal Church. So we're really excited about that. We wanted to have 175 IP addresses watching every Sunday, watching our live stream. We've got about 134, so that's not quite where we want it to be. But with Redeemer Online expanding, we're convinced that that will continue to grow. We said that we want to have 50 kids every month active in Faith Lab. Well, we have rebranded Faith Lab to RLC Kids now. And pleased to report we have over 50 kids active every month in what's going on with children's ministry. That's fantastic. Small groups, we said we wanted to start 6 new small groups this year. We're probably only going to start 2, but we're continuing to look at how do we expand our small group ministry. And I'll talk more about that in a couple of minutes. And then also new member households. We said we wanted to have 30 new member households join Redeemer this year. Pleased to report we've had 27 households join, 65 individuals have joined Redeemer this year. So that's fantastic. So there's a lot of great stuff that's going on. I also want to share this chart with you, which is, again, our average weekly worship attendance for the last almost 3 years now that we've been tracking weekly worship attendance since COVID, since the pandemic. September 2021. You see the top line here is our average weekly worship attendance over the last almost 3 years. We continue to grow, right? We continue to see an upward ticks with worship attendance. The middle line here is IP addresses that are watching on Sunday mornings, watching our live stream. Again, we continue to hold strong there. And again, that's one IP address. So whether it's one person watching every Sunday with our IP addresses or 5 people, we don't know how to calculate that, so we just count IP addresses, right? So that's what the middle line is. And then the lower line there is Wiggle Church. Once we started Wiggle Church, you see that has continued to bump up, and it's continued to contribute to the overall worship attendance. So that's great stuff. So again, there's our fiscal year goals so far versus performance. Then the second thing I want to talk to you about is a GLOW update. Where are we with this GLOW strategic plan? And I want to take a few minutes with this. This may take a couple more minutes, but just pay attention. You'll see what's going on here, because 5 years ago we launched into this GLOW strategic plan. Again, remember the 3 major priorities, the 4 supportive priorities. How are things going with each one? Well, with worship, You'll see here, there's a lot of things that we've accomplished over the last 5 years with worship. Calling Pastor Ian, bringing on Stephen Pruitt and Ramona Carper, implementing live stream. We've started Wheel Church. We actually have just over the last several months started a hotspot at Brainerd Woods. We've started a worship service there that's averaging about 30 people per worship service. That's happening a couple of times a month. We had a hotspot during COVID in Brighton Green that Tucker and Becky Wright led. So we're starting to do those things. So worship is going really, really well. We've expanded there, right? Second priority was ministry to children and families. And you see all the things that we've done here, right? Lindsay Douglas has been brought on. We have rebranded Faith Lab to RLC Kids. We've started monthly friendship Sundays and fellowship events. We've added Wheel Church. We've added a mom's night out. We've now started a handbell choir for Redeemer kids, and we'll see that starting to happen over the next couple of months. You'll see them playing in church. There's also a community helpers program that's going to be going on. And in September, we're going to really start implementing what you've been hearing Pastor Ian talk about. We're growing up Redeemer is these three groups, right? Redeemer minis, Redeemer kids, Redeemer students. So we're really excited about how that's playing out. Then there's the third priority, which is Center of Faith. Again, Becky Wade has been spearheading this effort. We started the food distribution program during COVID. We're still going strong with that. We distribute about 80 packs every week with the food distribution program. We have continued to expand our partnerships, particularly with Feed More and with other community agencies. We are about to bring on this temporary facility to house Center of Faith inventory and operations, right? So we're going to bring a shed on site and we're going to drop it up over by where the buses are parked right now, and that will be where Center of Faith operations are housed, and so we're excited about that. There's also a website, centeroffaithrva.org. You can go onto that website and see what's going on with Center of Faith. Then there's C10, which is the fifth and sixth priority of GLOW. This is this partnership with 6 LCMS churches in the Richmond area. You see those there: Redeemer, Trinity, Grace, Good Shepherd, St. Paul, Bethlehem. We have quarterly events that we'll have for fellowship and for leadership and for conversation and also leadership development. So we're prioritizing those areas of fellowship between our congregations, but also how do we continue to develop leadership among our congregations as well. So that's an ongoing thing. And then priority 7, RLC Online. We've got live streaming up and going. It's going very well. We've got some technical glitches that we're still working out from time to time. We have one online small group that's working. We've had multiple Bible studies that have been going on online. We've introduced Right Now Media to you as kind of the Netflix of the church, and a great place, great video library source for all of us to grab a hold of. And then in the fall, we're going to continue to expand our Sunday morning experience and get that better, but then also continue to offer online Bible studies and online small groups. So we're going to continue to expand there. So that's what's going on with GLOW. In other words, as I stand here today, right, as we have this third quarter review, we're almost done with the GLOW strategic plan. We're almost finished with it. We have a couple of things that we're going to put into place in September, but then at that point in time, we will really have done all of the things that we set out to do with the GLOW strategic plan. So then the next question is, what's next? What's Redeemer going to look like in 2030? Well, we are starting to think about that significant ways, right? We put together a strategic planning team, and you see the members there of the strategic planning team, and beginning in the fall, they are going to be looking at this question in great detail. What is Redeemer going to look like in 2030? And they'll put together our next strategic plan, and then basically what's going to happen is next April, May of 2025, this strategic planning team will put their plan in place, will make some recommendations to the board of directors and to the congregation. We'll vote on that strategic plan, and then we'll implement it in September of 2025. So that's what the strategic planning team is all about. Okay, so that's the GLOW update. So the third thing I want to talk to you about is Redeemer's financial position. And there's some great news here, but there's some things I'm also concerned about. So this chart tells you 3 things. Look at the red circles that are here. The first one at the top, ministry tithes and offerings, we continue to lag behind budget, right? Our actual tithes and offerings are about $50,000, $51,000 behind where our budget says we need to be. I'm concerned about that. You've seen the letter that went out several weeks ago about this, and several folks have been responding, and I thank you for that. We continue to make little improvements here and do better here, but I'm still concerned that we are behind where we need to be year to date. So that's first. Second, the CDC, if you look at the CDC revenues, the CDC expenses, the CDC is performing very, very well. Thank you to Kathy Bakken and Vanya Burgess and the entire CDC administrative team who have done a great job of getting the CDC's finances really, really tight. So we're very, very excited about how that's going. Now, let me make two comments here. First, recognize that the numbers that are in front of you right now are the end of third quarter, they're the end of May. We're heading into the summer. And so industry understanding is that the CDCs during the summertime do not perform as well because of summer vacations and all that kind of stuff, right? Enrollment is just wonky throughout the summer. So it's hard to really predict that stuff, but it's also hard to keep the CDC's financial performance as good as it was throughout the year. So we expect that that's gonna come back a little bit. But second, let me also say this, and this is the bigger thing. Redeemer on the ministry side cannot ride on the coattails of the CDC. And what I mean by that is that it's tempting to look at the CDC and say, well, the CDC is doing great, so the ministry can relax a little bit. No, that's not what we want to do, okay? CDC is healthy and strong. The ministry is also healthy and strong, but we need to continue to show that on our financial positioning with the CDC tithes and with the ministry tithes and offerings. The ministry cannot just ride on the coattails of the CDC, right? What we want is for the CDC to be healthy and strong financially and for the ministry to be healthy and strong financially. So that's what we're shooting for. CDC's done a great job this year, and we want to continue to have them be vibrant and healthy and strong. Now, this coming year, the ministry is going to focus on that area as well. The ministry needs to also become healthy and strong financially while the CDC continues to perform well. So again, we are thankful for where this tells us that we are, but we recognize we still have work to do here. So that's the third update. Final update is about board of directors. I want to talk to you about three things here. First of all, Shenandoah. Second of all, the planned giving initiatives. And third of all, the annual meeting process that's coming up. You know that the Forge team, which stands for Future of Redeemer Growth and Expansion, Forge team has been doing their homework and has been really doing some great stuff with looking at our entire facility footprint and how to leverage our entire facility footprint for our mission, to support our mission here at Redeemer. The land purchase was completed on May 6th, the property across the street from Shenandoah. The Forge team made a presentation on June 15th. And then we sent out a video email that shared all of that presentation with the congregation. If you have not watched that, please watch it. I recognize it's a little bit of a longer video, but please watch it, okay? And so, again, there's some great things that are coming up. The board of directors of the Forge team are working to make a recommendation to the congregation in the upcoming meetings. So stay tuned with that. Planned Giving Initiative. Let me tell you a little bit about this. Again, what is the Planned Giving Initiative? Again, to simply stated, here's the why for this thing called the Planned Giving Initiative. Because we love our church, the Planned Giving Initiative enables and empowers Redeemer members to leave a meaningful, unique legacy to both our church family as well as our individual family members so that our church remains healthy and vibrant and growing for decades to come. The PGI is not a fundraiser. And the PGI simply says, how can the Redeemer members be equipped to remember Redeemer and to remember our families with our estates, with our wills, with our trusts, all those kinds of things, so that we think through these things very carefully and very intentionally and very deliberately. And also, not just in our wills and estates, but also this thing called giving while living, where we can actually leverage our will and estate now to support Redeemer's ministry moving forward. So again, there's a lot of initiative that's going on here. Let me show you this. So far, we have had several families that have either pledged from their wills and estates or have told us that they're going to pledge from their wills and estates. And so far, you see from the PGI donation chart here, we have received a substantial amount of money from people already while they're from their wills and estates, but then we've also had several people pledge from their wills and estates and say, you know what, when we die, we are going to leave this amount of money to Redeemer. All right, so that's good stuff. We're excited about that. We are going to continue to talk about PGI over the years to come so that PGI becomes a part of our culture here at Redeemer, okay? So, finally, annual meeting process. Over the next couple weeks, you're going to get the packet of information from Redeemer about our nominees for our board of director positions, okay? So watch for that. On August 4th at 2 p.m. is going to be our budget hearing, where we're going to talk about our budget, our goals, board of director nominees, all kinds of different things that are going to be presented for the congregation for action on August 18th, following each worship service at our annual congregational meeting. So make sure you mark your calendars down. August 4th is our budget hearing, and then August 18th is where we're going to have our annual congregational meeting where we vote upon our budget, our goals, and major things that are happening for the coming year, okay? So, those are the 4 things that I want to share with you today. Goals and actual performance, GLOW update, financial stewardship update, and some things from the board of directors. Again, thank you for taking a couple minutes to watch this video of the big idea, to learn about what's happening here at Redeemer and see what's really going on. So again, if you have any questions about this, you can talk to me, you can talk to the staff, you can talk to Redeemer's board, and we look forward to seeing you real soon. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.